They lied to your face for years about the border, about inflation, about Biden's health, and about Trump, right? And now they just admitted that Trump was right about everything. The media, the prosecutors, even the so-called smartest guys in the room, they're suddenly whispering, yeah, MAGA might have been telling the truth. But here's the twist. Trump heard them, and he didn't just smile and walk away. He dropped the hammer pretty freaking hard. CCP spies caught and booted, visa bans signed and delivered, the Democrat media machine imploding. And just wait until you hear who they want to nominate next. You're not going to believe this, guys. So today I want to walk you guys through this jaw-dropping confession, actually multiple confessions that the left is now making. I want to share with you guys the names that they're throwing under the bus and exactly how Trump is using their own words against them to take back control, one executive order at a time. Guys, we're witnessing history being made. We're watching the collapse of a lie and the rise of the two. Essentially, we're watching the multiple rises of truth tellers that they tried to destroy. So in the next few minutes, you're going to hear the clip that broke CNN, guys, the policy that sent China into panic mode, and the Democrat who just called Barack Obama a boomer failure. Guys, if you appreciate the news updates, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate your support. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not satire. This is not some parody clip. Guys, top Democrats and their media puppets, they're finally admitting it. After 4 straight years, they told us the southern border was secure, that inflation was temporary, that Joe Biden was just fine. He's sharp as ever, in fact. But now they're singing a completely different tune. Jake Tapper, Morning Joe, Chuck Todd, they're all crawling back to the truth, hoping we forget that they spent years gaslighting us. They're openly saying the messaging was harmful, that they lied. The Republicans were, wait for it, right. And so here's what makes this even more outrageous. They didn't come clean because of guilt. They came clean because they're losing. Their base is waking up. The public trust is gone. And if you think that's the end of it, oh no, guys. Because Trump saw that opening and he didn't waste a second. This was an opportunity. So in just a second, I want to show you guys how he flipped that confession into a policy hammer that's so brutal that China is scrambling behind the scenes. But first, of course, I want to talk about another admission that they tried to bury. Okay, let's talk about Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. You might remember these guys. These are prosecutors up in New York City who ran on one promise. We will take down Trump. We will uphold justice. We'll prosecute crime. Just Trump. That's it. And so now Jake Tapper, yes, the same Jake Tapper, is calling it problematic. Wait, now it's a problem? After years of media airtime fanning the flames of lawfare and political persecution? Well, these weren't just legal cases. These were election strategies disguised as justice. And finally, of course, we need to talk about the architects of the narrative that what they're admitting right now. They knew what they were doing. Guys, here's the thing. Folks, this is not about media shame, because Trump took those confessions and turned them into a flamethrower. So I want to share with you guys exactly how he used it to slam the door on the Chinese communist espionage and why it's the boldest national security move since Ronald Reagan. Now, stick with me, because President Trump's hammer is only just getting warmed up. Government forms, endless phone trees, confusing fine print. If Medicare feels like a bureaucratic nightmare, you're not crazy. But Chapter can actually help you cut through all of it. Leslie Taylor, she got some help. She got a lot of help, actually. She's now saving $1,000 a year. Sharon Bertusik, she lost her Medicaid benefits, but Chapter ended up finding her a plan with 0 premiums, free meds, and her copay got reduced from $89 to $20. They don't talk in circles. They just help you, and they help you for free. So if you haven't called Chapter yet, I don't even know what you're waiting on. Give them a quick call. Tell them Ron says hello. Their number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Finally get the real help from real people. So while Democrats were quietly whispering, maybe MAGA was right, Trump was already at work. Boom, executive action. Over 280,000 Chinese nationals studying in U.S. universities. And under Trump's National Intelligence Law of 2017, every one of them is legally required to assist the Chinese Communist Party if asked. So guys, what this means is students, researchers, even interns working in STEM labs, every single one of them is a potentially, they're potentially like an intelligence asset, not by opinion, by Chinese law. And what did Trump do? He revoked their visas. Students tied to the CCP or studying in critical fields were shown the door. Trump said, you don't get to spy on our military bases, steal our patents, and hijack our universities. Not on our watch. And just wait, because what I want to share with you guys, and I want to show you guys how President Trump didn't even stop there. He actually went straight after the Ivy League elites who made it all possible. Harvard is not happy about this. Let's just say that, all right? So let's talk about this whole academic pipeline of espionage. Now, for years, China used elite U.S. universities, especially Ivy Leagues, as gateways to access our most sensitive tech and research. And what did Biden's crew do? They rolled out the red carpet. What did Trump do? Shut it down. Guys, he ordered a full-scale halt to student programs linked to the Chinese Communist Party. CCP-funded think tanks investigated. Joint research ventures cut off. Confidential military-adjacent projects secured. For decades, these academic institutions, they sold access for grant money and global espionage. Sure does sound like treason to me. Well, guys, Trump just cut their strings. And here's where it gets even better, because Trump delivers a direct strike, not just against China, but any foreign enemy of free speech. And yes, that includes some of our so-called allies. But guys, stick with me, because this next move that Trump made, it sent shockwaves through the globalist elite. So while Democrats were busy pretending to rediscover the First Amendment, Trump took a flamethrower to the global censorship machine, guys. He didn't just call out China. He banned any foreign official involved in silencing America. That's right, guys. Visa restrictions on censors. And if you played a role in targeting Americans for their free speech, even on Twitter, TikTok, or through some Lawfare, you're not welcome here. Trump said it loud and clear. Foreigners who work to undermine the rights of Americans should not enjoy the privilege of traveling to our country. And while the press tried to spin it as vague, we all knew exactly what he meant. China, Iran, and yes, even bureaucrats in Europe and Silicon Valley linked censorship groups. The message: you don't get to stifle American voices overseas and still vacation here in Miami. Doesn't work that way. But if that made the globalists sweat, wait until you see what happened to the legacy media who ran for cover for them, all right? Trump didn't just expose their lies. He watched them collapse under their own weight. But let's talk about the ratings bloodbath that they were trying to hide. Guys, you know who had their worst month in over a decade? CNN's golden boy, Jake Tapper. Yep, the guy who's suddenly admitting Trump was right. The guy who's now saying, maybe we went too far. The same guy who led 4 years of misinformation and warfare, now drowning in his own ratings. And the timing couldn't even be more poetic, guys. Just as Trump returns to power and exposes the media Democrat complex, CNN hits rock bottom. Jake Tapper's new book flopped. Show flatlined. Audience gone. The same network that screamed about Russian collusion, election denial, and the walls closing in, they're now clinging to relevance like it's their last lifeline. Meanwhile, Trump everywhere. You got packed rallies, you got executive orders, global headlines, and a truth machine that the mainstream media cannot compete with. And so just when you thought that it couldn't get any more embarrassing, wait until you hear about how the Democrats literally are copying President Trump's MAGA playbook. They got blue hats, slogans, culture jacking, You got to see this, guys. This is unbelievable what they're doing here. This is where it really gets embarrassing. After spending, what, nearly a decade mocking MAGA, basically just making fun of the red hats and smearing populist energy as some kind of a dangerous extremism, the Democrats are now trying to copy it, introducing Blue MAGA. Guys, they're literally making hats that say, "Make California Great Again." You can't make this up. Some are even whispering that populism might work for us too. There's also some talk of swapping out campaign music for Stevie Wonder instead of the Village People, and also trying to win back the same working class men that they spent years calling racist, misogynist, and threats to democracy. Folks, they mocked Trump's branding. They laughed at his rallies. And now, with Biden imploding and Kamala completely have crashed and the Obama machine exposed, they're now stealing Trump's entire playbook. And here's what they don't get, though. You could copy the look, but you can't copy the soul. MAGA wasn't about branding, or it wasn't just about branding anyway. It was about truth, action, and backbone, right? Patriotism. Something they can't fake. And this really isn't just embarrassing for Democrat leaders. It's terrifying for them because the voters themselves, they're shifting right in front of their eyes. Even Democrats are saying it. Populism? Yeah, it actually makes sense. Stick around, guys, because what's happening at the voter level, that's the real revolution. So I want to call it what it really is, guys. The great flip, right? Democratic voters, especially young men, let's just say that they're abandoning the party that's famous for pronouns and, the performation rage, guys. The gaslighting. Let's not forget about embarrassing common sense, freedom, and result, guys. They've watched the border collapse. They've felt the pain at the gas pump. They've seen the elites eat steak while they get locked into their homes and told to eat bugs. And now they're saying enough. Recent polls show even Dem-leaning voters are turning toward lower taxes, strong borders, free speech, and yes, even Trump. Why? Because they're done being lectured. They want leadership. They don't want lies. They don't want, they don't want more lectures. They want leadership, guys. So just until, I would say maybe just until last year, things have completely changed. Like, even the hardest leftist leaning Dems are now like, enough is enough of this. So I want to go ahead and wrap this up with this final blow here, guys, because while the left is trying to patch their sinking ship, President Trump, he's already rebuilding the America First agenda brick by brick. Guys, we need to talk about the moment and the ultimate unwavering momentum that they just can't stop, the policies they can't reverse, and this movement that they can't kill. So we need to take a step back just for a moment, okay? They said he was unfit. They said he was dangerous. They said his movement was a fluke. And now they're quoting him. They're copying him. They're admitting he was right. All the way from border policy to trade, from free speech to China, from media corruption to economic realism. Trump predicted it all. And while they tried to ruin him with these fake trials and these smear campaigns, he came back stronger. His policies are returning. His rallies are overflowing. His support is surging, even in Democratic strongholds. And every time the legacy media collapses under its own lies, President Trump's voice only gets louder. The hammer, he already dropped it. And the shockwaves, they're still moving through Washington, Beijing, and CNN headquarters. Here's the truth that they fear the most. You cannot cancel the truth. You cannot cancel you can't indict momentum, right? And you sure as hell can't silence millions of Americans who are done being lied to, right? So let's get real here. They mocked MAGA. They called it racist. They said the hats were dangerous. They swore they'd never be like that, right? Remember that? I know you guys remember that. And now they're literally rebranding themselves into MAGA clones. Blue MAGA is the phrase. New campaign slogans like "Make California Great Again" are starting to pop up. Are you guys seeing this? And according to the reports, they're even swapping out the Village People for Stevie Wonder at the rallies. This is not strategy. This is surrender. The left is realizing that MAGA wasn't about Trump alone. It was about truth. It was about results. It was about American pride. And now, with their old playbook falling apart, they're trying to wear the clothes of the movement that they tried to destroy. But the people are seeing right through it. Copying the uniform doesn't win the war. You need courage. They don't have that. Did any of their candidates take a bullet for this country? And if you think that their imitation game is cringe, wait until you see what Democrat voters are saying about real leadership. Because, guys, the next shift is probably one that's going to shake Washington, D.C. to its core. Like, this is the part that the media is terrified to talk about. Democrat voters, yes, their own base, they're done with this phoniness. Poll after poll is showing they're ditching the politics of pronouns and panic, and they're turning to common sense populist ideas. I'm talking about lower taxes, strong borders, no censorship, energy independence, respect for work, not welfare. This is common sense, guys. Even young men who voted blue are now saying that they would rather have a straight shooter than another slick talking puppet. Kind of makes me think of Gavin Newsom, honestly. But you know what they're craving, guys? Not safe spaces, not state control narratives, but freedom, truth, and results. And that's what Trump represents. That's what they tried to cancel. But now even their own side wants, they want what he built. That's why they're copying it. And that leads us to the final strike, the one that they just cannot walk back, because while the Democrats admit defeat, try to rebrand, Trump's movement's already taken back ground. The last thing that they wanted you to see is coming up. So after all the indictments, after the censorship, after the lies, the smear jobs, the character assassinations, the list goes on and on and on. Trump is now more popular than ever. His rallies are overflowing. His policies are coming back. His enemies are quietly conceding defeat. And even the people who swore never Trump are now whispering, okay, maybe Trump. Okay, maybe he was right. This is not just a comeback. This is a reckoning. The Democrats are confused. The media collapsed. Trump struck back. And now nothing can stop the America First agenda from rising again. So if you're tired of the lies, if you're watching the same people who mocked you 12 months ago, now confess that you were right. And if you're ready to take your country back, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to see this. Trump was right. They admitted it. And now he's rewriting the future. The hammer was dropped. And if you ask me, this has only just begun.